Very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us today as we take you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, there's a lot lined up for you today. We're going to be talking about what's currently going on, the Uefa Europa League, the Conference League as well, and all the other things happening in your fast-paced, money-spinning and exciting world of sports. Once again, thank you for joining us. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
It's always a delight to have you join us to talk sports in London. I'm Austin Okonakwan. Just to add to what Yemi talks about, is a loaded show. We will be showing some love to the Super Falcons. Remember, they will be taking on Canada. We love that one because we feel it's a good way to get the team ready for the outcome and, of course, keep them in shape as African champions. So playing the Olympic champions, twice will give the Super Falcons and the coach Randy Waldrum an opportunity to see ways that that team can get better. Right here in the United Kingdom, we're still celebrating the International Day of Sports for Development and Peace. That day is used to showcase the power of sports, to tell people that we can use sports to change lives. And in Nigeria, the same celebration happened. So much is going on. We can't forget that. People are still talking about the Super Eagles and their failure to qualify for the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. I don't know about you, Yemi, but what is the Senate trying to investigate? I mean, it is what you sow, you reap. And no, it makes me, I'm glad I'm cracking you up with that. I'm just like, why are you trying to waste time and resources checking what?
My thoughts exactly. But it shows the pain is across board. Everybody feels the pain. And that's why today on the show, we're hoping to have a conversation with somebody who was in the middle of it all. And hopefully it will come true for us. There are a lot of questions. There are a lot of things we need to know. What has happened. But hopefully we can have a true picture of what happened. Hopefully we don't make the same set of mistakes next time. Let's quickly introduce our partner in the Lagos studio as we go on. You've set the tone already for what we are going to do. Bolo Money joins us today. Greetings to you, Bolo. Thanks for being here.
Good to be again on this lovely, lovely Thursday evening. The Thursday boys are still playing their games. Some have concluded, but yesterday was outstandingly awesome from Karim Benzema. He set probably lots of personal records and all, and joining an elite group of 4. Only 4 players have scored 80-plus goals in the UEFA Champions League. Ronaldo, Messi, Lewandowski, now Benzema has joined them.
All right, that's good. Okay, let's move on the show. Austin talked about it, so let's just go right in that direction. Yesterday was the International Day of Sports, and Nigeria joined a whole lot of nations to mark that day. And of course, it was done across the globe. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees also put up what you have on your screen as part of events to mark the International Day for Sports Development and Peace. It's a day set aside to draw attention of the international community to the important roles sports has historically played in all society, be it in form of competitive sports, physical activities, or just playing itself. And of course, here in Lagos, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees organized a novelty match between refugees and, of course, Nat Boys FC of Lagos to mark the day with the team Play for Peace Niger, and the Lagos team won 6-0. So that's it. Pictures on your screen right about now. And of course, we will allow you enjoy this and of course take some reactions.
It means inclusion. By the nature of our name, we protect refugees and find durable solutions for them. And we all know refugees are living in Nigeria. So it's a good opportunity for refugees to interact within the communities where they are living for peace and development. So that's the central element. That's the message we want to send across. refugees are involved, the local community where they are staying are involved. They do sports together. So it's a unifying force to achieve peace and development in the world. I believe this celebration will ginger the spirit of comradeship within the community, because like I said, we care for refugees with the government of Nigeria. So the spirit of comradeship, sportsmanship will continue to be engendered within the community. And that's what we want. We want refugees to live peacefully with their neighbors within the community. So it will continue to grow the spirit of brotherliness, oneness.
This is amazing, you know, I really love this initiative. I hope there is more of it to come, because it is showing how they've been accepted into the host community, seeing that it's not easy becoming a refugee, you know, it's not something anybody wake up and say, today I'm going to be stateless, you know, and being accepted into the host community you're in and coming to share, play football, it's amazing. So I think it's a beautiful thing we're seeing here today. It is amazing seeing this happen. Everybody loves peace. Everybody wants peace. It's funny how some people don't. I don't know how, but look at how they're all cheering for each other, you know. Nobody knows who is who. Everyone is cheering for everybody to win. Everyone is happy, having fun together at the same time. And we're all humans at the end of the day. And this is really, 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 really nice, seeing everybody happy, seeing everybody share this moment. And I want to hope and pray that after now, this would continue and they will continue living in peace together. And this should actually also go on to show every other person that we need to show love and peace to each other. It takes nothing to be nice. Nothing, absolutely nothing to be nice. And we need to do that more often.
All right, just shows the importance of sports, the role sports plays when you're talking about peace, and that was the team for that event. You're talking about the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. I mean, peace, very important to the world, very vital. Nobody, just like the lady said, nobody wakes up and wants to become a refugee. But then again, it brings us back to the power of sports, what sports can do, and why it was sports that was used to send home that critical message of peace, and also to talk about people welcoming refugees, making them feel at home, and all of that, using sports to pass across that message. Very good one, Austin.
I know, Yemi, you know, I always champion the power of sports to transform lives. Every year, April the 6th, I look forward to it because look at the world, Yemi, look at Ukraine and Russia. We can use sports to, you know, stop all of this madness that we're seeing in the world these days. The theme for this year's celebration is securing a sustainable and peaceful future for all. The contribution of sports. Look at it, the future, very, very important, you know, for our children's children to come into a world that is sane. And the International Day for Sports, Development and Peace is a good platform to remind every one of us that we can live together and that with love, we can make this world a better place.
All right, so that is it. Good one right there. Maybe I should just allow Bolu to say a thing or two before we move on. And I mean, we all know that date is on the calendar, but then again, this event reminds us of the power of sports.
Yeah, remember one of the things we saw after the Super Eagles got failed to qualify for the World Cup, many said, we don't care about Nigeria. I have friends that will tell you, I know they watch Nigeria game, but it's a lie. They'll be the ones asking me if they are not showing it on live, say, Abolo, any links. But I thought you are not watching and leave that side. At the Olympic Games, when it's time for, when this Nigeria girl they run, so it's always, you may or may not like what's going on, but when it's time to sit down to focus on one thing, it's sport. It's one of the things that brings everyone together. Whatever religion you belong to, whatever region you belong to, also, we all sit down. I just wish we can see all the 100% positives on sports. If we can do just that, there are some countries that the only way they make money from is through sports. So what stops us from doing that? I don't think any country in the world has lots of talent like we do. I mean, across all boards. So hopefully this can be a ton of new things for Nigeria and sports generally.
And quick one, do you think the International Sports Day should be bigger than that? The way we celebrate it in Nigeria should be bigger than that?
It should. If possible, there should probably be one of the big sports events should be aligned to that day. maybe it could fall on a day, maybe we have maybe AFCON final, Champions League final, World Cup final, or there can be maybe one particular sporting event. So many don't even know this day exists. Until recently, some people were asking, is this the first time that I said, no, it's been around for a while, just that it's having more traction this year. So it wouldn't be wrong if the international sports have a particular day where we celebrate this. It may not be a regular event. Just let everybody know that we also have a day which we celebrate ourselves. So hopefully after this year's celebration, next year will even be bigger and better.
All right. Hopefully that will be the case. Okay, moving on. We were hoping that at some point we will have a conversation. I'm still trying not to let the cat out of the bag, but if it pulls through, you would understand what we're trying to do on the show. Also, while we're waiting, let's talk about the ladies. You're very excited when you mentioned the ladies. I mean, that's the only thing we have. That's the only thing we have. We put all our eggs in one basket. We focus on national team to the detriment of developing football on the domestic scene. Now the senior national team is not going to the World Cup. If there's any other national team you want to support, it's the ladies. And just like our colleague, always quick to remind us that for the ladies, it's always 100%. The one that does not qualify, it's just about 70% done. So all the three national teams for the ladies will surely be playing international competitions.
Yeah, and let's not forget that last year was particularly a good year for them, and everything rises and falls on leadership. And when these things happen, we question the administration of football in Nigeria. But before I get into the Super Falcons, quick update for our viewers, Yemi. Let me just tell them we were supposed to have Austin Eguavoin on the show tonight, but he had a very stressful flight to Abuja. I spoke to him just before I came on air, and he says, look, Austin, unfailingly, we'll speak to Nigerians tomorrow. I said, look, coach, even the only thing you're coming to say is we are sorry. Just come on this show and say we're sorry. I don't know if Nigerian football fans will forgive you, Austin Eguavoin, and your technical crew, but it's okay for just come on the show, say you're sorry, and let's just find a way to get beyond this failure to qualify for the World Cup. Let's talk about the women. They always make us smile. The Super Falcons, they will be playing Canada. And look, it doesn't come bigger than this when you play the Olympic champions. And for the Super Falcons, using this one to get ready for the Africa Women's Cup of Nations is a beautiful one for Coach Randy Waldrum. He believes this team is still work in progress. And Yemi Bolu, remember when he came, he said, don't rush. You guys have already made a name with this team. Let's find a way to sustain whatever quality that they have. And you can tell match after match, the Super Falcons are getting better. That lady, for instance, right on the show, Ashley Plumter, she came into the team, and she's making remarkable progress. You can tell that someone is building a structure in place that as long as you're a quality footballer and you get into the Super Falcons, you will blend. So shout out to Randy Waldrum and his team, particularly for this friendly against Canada. I'm sure you'll be trying to tick some boxes, you know, cross the T's and dot the I's and find ways that he can make the Super Falcons team stay formidable. I love this one. I'm looking forward to it. Indeed, the African champions, but Bolu, Yemi, you know other teams are closing in. South Africa, they're working so hard. Morocco, working so hard. So it means for you to be top-notch, you must maintain the quality that you have shown as champions of Africa.
Well, 101%. You just have to, because like you rightly said, the Aisha Buhari Cup opened the eyes of many. Yes, that was not our best performance, but at the same time, it means people are coming up. We've missed out a few Olympic tournaments. I remember when we lost the game at the stadium in Lagos. These girls on paper didn't look better than us, but they were more determined, similar to what happened to the Super Eagles. I'm still not convinced that the Falcons' performance so far, but I agree 1,000% with Austin. There's definitely improvement, especially from the game against Ghana to the game against Ivory Coast. You can see, and Randy Waldrum said one thing. I don't know if the NFF are going to give him that, but he said he's looking at a 10-year plan for the Falcons, where at the World Cup, everyone will see the difference between what the Falcons used to be and now. Maybe we'll be patient enough for the 10 years. I don't know. But in terms of improvement, obviously, there's a huge difference between what we displayed at the Aisha Buhari Cup from the games in the qualifiers, especially against Ghana, where we struggled in the second leg, and the game against Ivory Coast. So hopefully, this improvement continues. The truth is, Falcons Falcons are not just the most successful women's team in Africa. They are the most successful team in Africa, male or female, whichever. Even I have some female journalists who like putting that in my face. So I said myself, even before they say that. And like you rightly said, even our underage girls, Falconets and the Flamingos are doing well in their game. Maybe we should turn attention to these guys and make sure we give them the same level of support we got from the Super Eagles. Hopefully, they can do much more than they've ever achieved at the Women's World Cup. Is it possible? Yes. And for the game against Canada, I hope all the unnecessary of the distractions will not affect them. There was an initial report earlier today that Oshoala has been stripped of captaincy. Some said it's because she's not going to be around for this game. Some said stripped off completely. I expect the NFF communique or media team to put up a statement immediately. If you've actually taken the captain's band off, let us know. If it's a rumor, let us know. So there won't be so many them say no. We just want to know the truth. No distractions. Whatever happens against Canada, let's learn from it ahead of the AFCON and the Women's World Cup.
And just to quickly add, chip in about the rumors flying around. Is it a decision by the federation? Is it a decision by the coach? Yeah. All of those things need, I mean, a lot of people were throwing it and answering it themselves. I mean, I read a couple of opinions. Some said the captain's armband is weighing her down. She's not been performing. I mean, who is saying it? Where is all of this coming from? I mean, it's a team. There's a process. You do all of those things. And just like we've been talking about the good work they've done with the ladies, you know, you would not want everything to be undone by some of this, you know, little issues that probably should have been handled in a different way. But having said all that, I've been mightily impressed with the ladies, and the potential is there. And now that the Super Eagles are not going to the World Cup, I dare say, give them all the support they can get. And if the coach is saying I have a 10-year plan, by all means, support him. Maybe it might help us grow the game here in Nigeria. So that's all I have to say about the ladies. They've always made us proud, and I'm very sure they will continue to make us proud.
How they showed good character to qualify for the Africa Women's Cup of Nations. Remember, Ghana was no pushover. Cote d'Ivoire also had a good run, but they managed, despite all of the problems that they might be having behind the scenes, they stayed focused and got the job done. And that's what we're talking about. Men, go and meet the women and learn how to manage your situations. You know, I have said it over and over again that the ladies are better managers. So let's give it up to them. Shout out to the Sport Falcons. They will be taking on Canada tomorrow and Monday. I just hope that Coach Randy Waldrum and his team, they will take a closer look at the team for us to just want to, you know, sustain the momentum, keep the relevance of the Super Falcons, because teams are closing in, particularly as we're doing all this. NFF, use this window that you failed to qualify for the World Cup to develop women's league football in Nigeria. Yemi Bolu, you guys remember what happened to Rivers Angels when they went to the Super, you see? Even they couldn't beat teams from Kenya. It tells you that countries are beginning to look at us and say, yes, Nigeria is blessed with talent, but what are the things that they are not doing? Let's start doing it. And that's what other African countries are doing with developmental football, and they're catching up big time. We must wake up and make sure that we don't let them catch up.
Very important, very important. I'm still gutted with what happened with the ladies at the inaugural edition of the CAF Women's Champions League, but it so happens that we shot ourselves in the foot. That wasn't because the gap has closed. That was because we were just not serious. And I'm very sure if the girls get another opportunity and travel arrangements and everything is done well, I'm still very sure. It's going to be very hard for them to just throw us off.
I know. So that's it. Women's football. We continue to get our attention. We just wish the Super Falcons all the best right there in Canada. We will monitor it. Trust us, we'll give you updates on this show, and you can always, you know, follow the Super Falcons and everything they are doing right there in Canada. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. You could be part of the program on Twitter. We're Channels_sports. You can send us an email, sportstonight@channelstv.com. We're talking about what's going on in our world of sports. I'm tempted to bring that conversation about the Senate. When I introduced it, you laughed. I don't know what Bolu thinks about it, but let's go on a break. let's put a pause on that first, because we need to calm down and have that conversation. Let's really know what we're doing with our football. So let's go on this quick break. When we come back, the Nigeria Senate said they will investigate why the Super Eagles didn't qualify for the World Cup in Qatar. Don't laugh. We'll talk about it. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back to Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Remember, you can be part of the program. I told you on Twitter or channels_sports, and you can send us an email to sportstonight@channelstv.com. The Nigeria Senate, they said, look, we don't like that the Super Eagles didn't qualify for the World Cup, and so they want to investigate what happened. They want to know why the team failed to qualify. Bolu, when you heard that, Yemi laughed because, I mean, isn't it obvious that it's what you sow that you reap?
Well, first thing is, what happened to what the Senate asked after we got the disaster at the last Olympic Games? I'm not sure there's still a conclusion on that yet. It's always a reaction. We just react to too many things. Why didn't the Senate ask what's been going on in the basketball for years? Why didn't the Senate ask what's been going on in badminton? Why didn't they ask what's been going on in AFL? It's just more like because many or almost all Nigerians follow football. Let's just react to what's going on, what's trending immediately. The truth is, when they are done with all this Senate questioning and everything, like it was said off air, House of Reps will still call for their own meeting. It looks like at the end of all these talks, there's always like a textbook of suggestions that they'll write. Then in the end, we will get back to, that's always what we hear. We never get the conclusion. We never hear what the recommendations are. It's always more like, let's just do something that they want. The truth is, our football problem is beyond what happened to the Super Eagles. We need to go deeper. We need to go deep. Because after now, okay, we are out of the World Cup. What next? That should be the next plan. And the next man shouldn't just be a coach. Yeah, let's just be. We need to know the kind of coach we want. For example, Spain will not appoint someone like Jose Mourinho, not because Jose Mourinho is not good, but Jose Mourinho doesn't play what they want. We need to define what we want. We need to define our style. Or else, there are 1,000 coaches out there. But if we don't know what we want, we'll end up coming back here again in 4 years. Hopefully that will be qualified for World Cup, but we didn't like pattern. At least it's better to qualify and not like pattern. Not just come and write, sit down recommendations, do 1,000 meetings, set up committees for everything. No. The solution is what we want. We know what the problem is. We know where the problems are from, but what is the solution? What does the senator, okay, yeah, what happens when we didn't prepare well, our players were not serious enough? Because it looks like the players are the only ones taking all the blame. It feels like our set of 94 is like Man U set of 92. Players are always at fault for everything, but we need to look out for the solutions. If you keep writing problems, oh, this is what happened, this is what happened. No, we need solutions. If it means getting a coach, I don't care black or white, but a coach that is competent, a coach that knows what we want, a coach that will follow the pattern we tell him to follow. And we need a director, someone that will oversee everything, both from our under 15 to the Super Eagles, or else in the next few years, we will still come back here again and start having Senate meeting or who Super Eagles. So I think we need to look for the solutions, not all this sitting down talking about what happened. The past is the past. Let's look forward towards the future.
You know, Austin, you asked us not to laugh, and that's why I'm keeping a straight face. That's the only reason I'm keeping a straight face. Because
don't laugh.
I'm not going to laugh. But you see, I told Bolo off camera that the Senate are doing theirs in their chambers. I won't be surprised if the House of Rep as well does theirs. But we have to go beyond the questions. We are Nigerians and we have a right to ask questions. But at this point, you could play back what was said in 2005 when we failed to qualify for the 2006 World Cup. You could play it back and it's still relevant today. So we know what to do. Let's just do it. It's not about that we didn't qualify for the World Cup is just 5% of the problem of Nigerian football. And we have to be honest. So it's even beyond. And Bolo talked about the authorities talking about hiring a coach. Is that the solution? Is that the only problem that we have? But you know what? Let's not put the cart before us. Let's just listen to what the Senate, what they've been saying. And of course, they've been asking questions, and rightly so. Every Nigerian should ask questions. And hopefully we get the answers and we move on with sincerity of purpose and doing the right thing. But let's go to the Senate chambers and listen to the senators demand for answers.
The Super Eagles failed to qualify for the FIFA 2020 World Cup after losing to Ghana, even though the match ended 1-1 on goals and 1-1 on goals aggregate. The away goal rule applied to granted the Black Stars of Ghana the World Cup ticket at this coveted soccer tournament, to the disappointment of Nigerian football fans. Observe that the MKO Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, was jam-packed with highly expectant Nigerian football fans throughout the controversial match, and the alleged violent reaction of these fans to the outcome of this match has become a subject of local and international media criticism. Concerned that a lot of valuable facilities at MKO Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, were reportedly destroyed, but the extent of destruction is yet to be determined by the relevant government authorities. There is no gainsaying that the destruction will cost the government of Nigeria several millions of naira to either replace or effect repairs.
All right, questions asked, and hopefully we get answers. Hopefully those who can answer that questions will sit down in front of the Senate and of course tell us. But my worry is if you look at the guys that are currently at the helm, unless something happens, they might not be there beyond the middle of next year. The guys currently at the helm of affairs, unless something happens. Anything could happen, but just looking at it logically. And so if we're talking about a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, not these guys, unless maybe they get re-elected or reappointed. And that's where the worry is for me, Austin.
And let me just make an honest appeal here. I mean, 2023 is coming. Nobody, I repeat, nobody should use sports for politics, because it will just push us down where we don't want to be again. Because there, as you said, there are a lot of problems. What's the state of infrastructure development in the country? The players don't come out to say all of these things, so someone will say, oh, they are making excuses. What's the state of the Abuja pitch? We know that it was already put together. When you go around the country, what can we say about what we're doing for the development? Proper long-term development backed up with good policies that we implement. Where are we with that? Nowhere. What's the state of the league? Those are the issues. And until you solve a problem, it will remain a problem. So while I was saying, oh, we didn't qualify for the World Cup because we know the World Cup comes with a lot of attention, the small FIFA money that people can, use here and there. Let's sit down now and reflect. This is the time to reflect. We had George Abbey on this show the day the Super Eagles crashed out, and he said it might just be a blessing in disguise. And you said the problem is we never learn. So let's see if we can learn from this one now. It's good that they're asking questions, but I think that we know the problems. Even look at the way we got into the final round of the World Cup. It was shaky. Look at the way we qualified also for the AFCON. Look at the things we did before the AFCON, during the AFCON. The problems are glaring in our faces. So let's start finding ways that will tackle it. People, football stakeholders in the country, they're saying, Nigeria Football Federation, we're not feeling what you're doing. They're saying that the board should resign. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe people should sit back and say, oh, we've done our bits. We cannot continue, so let's leave football and find a way that we can, share it up from another angle. I just feel that there's so much problems that we need to solve that goes beyond the Super Eagles fighting out and getting on the pitch to play football, because we think that the only progress is on the pitch. No, there's the winning before the real win. So let's start doing those things, and then we'll see our football change.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, we can go on. And of course, the federal government also asked to help, so many areas. I mean, it's just an opportunity for a reset. But if what has happened in the last 2-3 weeks is anything to go by, it does appear we want to continue doing the same thing. And if we continue doing the same thing, we'll get the same result. That's the sad part. And I don't know. I know if we get to this conversation, we're not going to end it. But let me allow Bolu to say something. Where do we go from here? That's the question. Where do we go from here? It does appear like resignations are not going to come. So that's thrown out of the window. It does appear that some people will want to divert people's attention. Look, it's not all about the players alone.
Yeah.
It's not about the players alone.
Well, first of all, I think everyone should know their jobs and do their jobs. First of all, if you are the media officer, do the job of a media officer. Don't add coaching to your job. Don't add social media to your job. They may sound similar, but they are not the same thing. That way, we know where the loopholes are. Because I can multitask and do many people's jobs. The person that is not working, you will hardly notice the space. But everyone should focus on their job. If I am not the media officer, I shouldn't be the one speaking with the media. That way, we know where the loopholes are. We know where we need to reinforce. We know where to pick someone else. But for example, if the technical advisor is doing the job of a coach, doing the job of a fitness trainer, doing the job of the goalkeeper coach, it will be hard to know who the problem is. And beyond that, exactly, one of the things we're also missing is I can be a great coach. It doesn't mean I'm good as an underage coach. So we need to employ the right people in the right places. That way we can know who to drag. Because, for example, now we heard the sport minister has called the NFF to tell them what happened. Then I believe the Senate or reps or whoever, if they need answers, they should go to the sport minister because it's the minister for youth and sports. But here, their question is going towards the NFF. So I think everyone needs to know their job. And if anyone is missing, appoint the right people. Let people that have the heart to do those. I may love children, it doesn't mean I can teach children. So we need the right people in the right places and do the right thing. And Austin Riley said, including yourself, we need the government as well, infrastructure. No matter how much private investors get into things, we also need the government backing. If everything works well, one thing everyone agrees on, talent is not a problem. Yeah. The talents are there. If everything is put in the right places, hopefully we'll get to grow. My take is always, hope we won't come back here in a few years and keep saying the same. Like you said, if we play the tapes of 2005, we may still end up hearing many of these same things. So hopefully this time around, the shame is too much, and hopefully the shame will make us grow and learn from it.
All right, so that's a good place to leave it. If we continue, we're probably not going to end this conversation. All right, guys, let's move on and talk about the Nigeria Professional Football League. Let's talk about matches played today. 7 matches played yesterday, 3 matches played today. Let's take a look at the results and how it reflects on the NPFL table. So let's just quickly look at that. Wiki Tourists beat Sunshine Stars 1-0. Rivers United, of course, cruising on top of the league table, defeated Lobby Stars 1-0. Plateau United defeated Niger Tornadoes by a lone goal. These are the 3 matches played today. Add that to 7 matches played yesterday. You have a true picture of, and that's it on your screen. Top 5, we have Rivers United, followed by Plateau United, Rangers International, Remo Stars, and Kwara United. After 21 matches, then you have the other teams. I mean, some of them in positions they really don't want to. 16, 17, 18, 20, there are positions you don't want to. Niger Tornadoes, Lobby Stars, Casino United, MFM, and Heartland. Lagos fans probably be shaking their heads and hoping that things turn around for MFM. But Austin, your thoughts quickly before we take some reactions from one of the feature games that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what a story we're having in the MPFL. The competition every season gets us talking, but at the back of our minds, we're hoping and praying and believing that we will get the right things that will make this league, you know, admirable, you know, and take it to the standard where it will be termed professional and international. Match day 21 tells you 17 more games to go. And if you look at the table closely, it's still a tale of Plateau United and Rivers United. It's a tale of you win, I win. I told you this right from match day 15. Plateau United, if you win, Rivers United will win. Rangers still also doing their bits, but as you said, if you look at from from 17 to 20, you can tell how tight it is. And from some of the matches that were played today, Wiki Tories beating Sunshine Stars by a single goal. They needed that win so badly, to keep their campaign going. Rivers United needed to get the job done against Lobby Stars, and they did just that. And Plateau United, as I said, if Rivers United is winning, Plateau United must win. So the Nigeria Professional Football League, all day, every day, we cannot doubt the talent right there. Someone will look at that save now and say, why is that goalkeeper not in the Super Eagles of Nigeria? And then we'll come check it. Some of the little things that are needed to make the league, proper, that is missing, and that's why we're not seeing these guys play in the league the way playing for the top team of the country, the way some fans expect them to be playing. So that's the story. Magic 21 still getting us to talk. Let's take some reactions. That game between Katsina United and, of course, Rangers. Rangers needed to win that one, and they did just that. We'll be right back.
Getting 3 points in a league game, it's very important you win, and we won. That is why I'm so happy that now we are 3 points on top of what we had before. So at least we can say it's a good game. It is the same set of players that we use in Makodi. About 98% of them played today. So I think that is the reason. If we have options, we will have replaced some of them with fresh legs, and I believe we will finish this game without any problem.
It's a good game from both sides, and also the home team played very well. It was a deserved goal that they scored. Was a good goal, and everything was so fantastic. I like the ambience of the stadium. We played good football from both sides, and without any violence, and there's been a fair play also. Also, we could have got a goal. Also, they were lucky to get away from that at the dying minute of the first half. But second round, I think they came back with full force and got the result. Also, I think the fasting also has affected us because almost 60% of the boys are fasting, and it's almost about 4 days of the fasting, so they've not get used to it yet. But all the same, we'll go back home. We have about 2 home matches at home. We'll try and catch up with some points.
So that's it. Coach Abdallah, good to see him back in the league. Former Aimba, former Wiki Tories, and now he's with Katsina United. Difficult job, I must say, that he took. But let's see what he can do, because Katsina United, they're 18th on the log with that defeat, while Rangers climbed to 3rd on the log with 37 points. So it's the MPFL where every win is important. And if you listen to Coach Abdul Maikaba, Bolu, let me get you talking. Rangers, they've been so impressive this season, particularly playing away from home. If you check, they're still the team that has scored the most goals away, and of course, they have the most points away.
Well, the unfortunate part is they're picking more points away from home, but at home they are finding ways to draw points. But it seems they've woken up, and there's no better time to wake up than now. That's why they are 3rd on the log. Yeah. But the 2 top teams are just way ahead of everyone. It's feeling like a 2-horse race, but I think you have to give kudos to Rangers. And the points people were not thinking about it, similar to how Plateau United rose from mid-table to 2nd on the log. So I think you still have to give credit to Rangers as well. They are rising steadily. Unfortunately, the 2 guys at the top don't look like they are willing to drop points at all. Because for a team like Plateau United, I think they've dropped points. They've lost just 1 game in their last 12 or 13. Since then, win, draw away from home. So for Rangers to probably challenge even much more than they are doing right now, they have to win possibly all their home games. That's exactly what Plateau United and Rivers are doing. Plateau, we thought they were going to drop points at home today. They still found a late goal in the 89th minute from Andrew. So that is stuff of champions. At least Rangers are trying. They are 3rd. Ask for the defending champions, Aqua United, they are 9th. Ask for Enyimba, the legendary team in the MPFL, they are 8th. I think it shows one thing. It depends on the side of the coin you're looking at. Some will say, well, they are poor. Others will say the league is even more competitive. That's why others are doing well. So you have to give kudos to Rangers for where they are on the log. As of now, if the league ends today, Rangers will be playing on the continent for next season.
As That's very interesting. But of course, the NPFL giving us reasons to talk, and we hope that things will continue to get interesting. All right, guys, we need to quickly move on. We have a few minutes before we wrap things up on the show. Let me quickly talk about Uefa. I'll pass the baton to Austin. There was a time there were talks about the financial fair play rule. Now, Alexander Severin, the Uefa president, is saying he has done his job. Now we are moving on, and they've approved a new sustainability regulations to help clubs. So it's a bit different from the financial fair play rules, but it also helps to stabilize the clubs. Let's just quickly listen to the UEFA president. We'll come back to discuss this and, of course, what is currently going on, of course, the Europa League and the Conference League.
The UEFA Executive Committee today approved the new UEFA club licensing and financial sustainability regulations. I'm very happy, I don't want to say even surprised, that we got support from all the stakeholders, the leagues, clubs, and of course members of the Executive Committee, which is a very good sign. UEFA's first financial regulations, introduced in 2010, served their primary purpose, and they helped pull European football finances back on track. But the football industry changed, and alongside the inevitable financial effects on the pandemic has shown the need to reform the new sustainability system. While the acceptable deviation has increased from 30 million over 3 years to 60 million over 3 years, requirements to ensure their value of transaction, to improve the club's balance sheet and to reduce debts have been significantly strengthened. The biggest innovation in the new regulations will be the introduction of a squad cost rule to bring better cost control in relation to the player wages and transfer costs. The regulation limits spending on wages, transfers and agent fees to 70% of club revenues. Assessment will be performed on a timely basis, and breaches will result in predefined financial penalties and sporting measures. So the new regulation will come into force this June 22, and there will be a gradual implementation over 3 years to allow clubs to adopt.
All right, welcome back. Bully, we're on the home stretch, but I have to allow you to talk about this. That was the time Wenger was waxing lyrical about FFP. But Severin says he's done his job, and this new one also kicks into gear in June.
I think the FFP would have been the solution to this, but later on it was bypassed. Then they came with another one that you can't spend more than 70% of your revenue. And people will tell you, teams like Man City and that some of the agreements in quote that they say they have, and probably non-existing. There's just agreements of what and so I don't know where Seferin is going, but they need to find a solution, because the only way we can have surprises like Leicester again in Europe is only if everyone to an extent is balanced. Because now, similar to World Cup, you can easily predict that it will be one amongst maybe 3, 4, 5 teams. You can't see shockers of like Porto anymore. No. You can't see shockers like, to an extent, even Chelsea to win grew to that level. Like some friends will say, you need to pay your dues. Maybe PSG has paid their dues. Unfortunately, they are not here again. But let's see if they'll follow through with this one. June 22nd is far, but at the same time, it's just around the corner. So, but hopefully the top clubs will not buy their way around this again. Okay. If they say you need 70% of revenue, well, revenue is what we declare. If they declare false revenue, is there a way to curb that and maybe give them sanctions? And they say 3 years for them to adapt. So let's see how much the big clubs and the clubs, especially in the Europe, will find a way to adapt.
All right, so that's it. Like I said, we're on the home stretch. Let's go back to Austin. He is right at the center of where everything is happening. Let's get some live results from Europa League and the Conference League.
That's right. Let's get into the quarterfinals in the Europa League. Done and dusted, that's one. RB Leipzig and Atalanta ended 1-1. 86th minute being played in that one between Eintracht Frankfurt and Barcelona, and the score is 1-1. It's Braga 1, Rangers 0, West Ham 1, Lyon 1. That game is in its 79th minute, so it tells you that people are not smiling right there in the Europa League. In the Conference League, it has finished Feyenoord 3, Slavia Prague 3, Bodo Glimt 1, Roma 1, Leicester City and PSG PSV Eindhoven are playing goalless. That game, Yemi, is in its 86th minute, 89th minute. And then the game between Marseille and PAOK FC. Marseille leading by 2-1. These days we see the Europa League and we see the Conference League.
All right. Thursday night football, it is. All right, as we close, guys, let's talk about Joe Wilfred Songa. He has decided that he will be saying bye-bye till the game after the French Open. Here's a man who has won 18 ATP titles. His career has been hampered by injury. And anytime I want to joke around with Songa, he says he's more popular for his looks than his play because he looks like Muhammad Ali. But a good player nonetheless. Bolu, as we go, Songa, injuries, just like Juan Martin Del Potro, players that injuries have dealt with a lot.
It's similar to Mandimuri, but fortunately for Mandimuri, he found time. At least he had like 2-3 good years where he got his Grand Slam, won the Olympic gold medal. But for Songa, he's one of those very talented players who never grew past a certain level. His highest ranking was world number 5, I think, in 2012. But since then, he's been from one injury to one problem and the other. Unfortunately, he couldn't win any Grand Slam. His biggest was the final. But here, he's still one of the best when you talk about tennis players. So wish him all the best after his career.
All right, wish him all the best. Yeah. Okay, that's a good place to end it tonight. We do hope you've enjoyed everything. First, I want to say thank you to Bolu for being here today.
It's always a pleasure being here.
We'll do this again some other time.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, that's the show today. We hope that you've been able to enjoy what we brought to you. Still one more edition for the week. We'll be back here again tomorrow, take you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
We love it when you join us to talk sports. Let's do this again in London. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.